Yeah, the topic now I'm going to discuss is SQL null functions. Before we start discussing with a null function, first we should know what is null. So two terminologies should be clear. The first one is null. So null is nothing but undefined value for a particular column in a table. So if we don't know a value for a particular column, we can make it as null. Example, if we don't know the value for a particular employee, doesn't have a mobile number or a landline number, in that case, we are going to make it as a null value. Null value is nothing but undefined value. One more terminology, not null. What is not null? Defined value. So it's compulsory value. Example, for an employee table, employee number is a defined value. Every employee has a number, so has to be identified by the employee number. We are making use of a particular keys, that is, we'll be using primary key. Primary key is a not null, that is compulsory value for a particular table in a particular column. So now I'm going to discuss what are different null functions. The first null functions we have, the first null function what we have is null function, and then is null. Then the second function we have with the nullif function, and the third one coalesce function. Okay, so all these are the different functions where we perform a null operation, that is null function. The first one is null. So what does is null function will do? Is null function is have different uses in SQL Server. Is null function is used to replace the null values. Example, say suppose I'm just writing a query here, select is null. I'm passing two arguments for this. Is null of, I'm just passing 10,000 comma null. So if I pass like this, it is taking two arguments. If the first argument is null, it will return the second argument. If the second argument is null, it will be displaying the first argument. Say suppose I'll just select this query and execute, we'll be getting the value as 10,000. So is null function will take exactly two parameters. The first parameter, say suppose I'll take another example, is null of null comma 40,000. So if I execute this query, if the first value is null, it will be displaying the second parameter. In the above example, in the above query, if the second argument is null, so it is returning the first argument. Say suppose if we have both the arguments as null, so what it will do, it will just return the null value. Is null of null comma null. So I'm just passing both the arguments as null, then it will return null value. So this is how we use the is null function. Is null function will take exactly two parameters. If one particular parameter is null, it will return the other parameter. If both the parameters are null, it will return the null value. So then we'll go with a function nullif function. So what does nullif function will do? So nullif function will also take two arguments or two parameters or two expressions. If both the expressions are equal, then it will return a null value. Otherwise, it will return the first argument. Example, I'm just writing a select query here. Select nullif of, I'm just taking a string hello, comma, hello. If my both the strings are matching, then nullif function will return a null value. Can you be able to see the output over here? Nullif of hello, comma, hello. Both the strings are equal, then it is returning the null value. Then another example. Say suppose what will happen if both the expressions are different. Then it will return the first expression. Example, hello, comma. I'm just taking the string morning. So what it will do, if both the arguments are different, it will return the first argument. Example. See here, I have given first expression as hello and the second expression as morning. If both are different, it will be returning the first expression. If both the expressions are same, it is returning the null value. This is how we use a null if function. Null if function will take exactly two parameters or expressions. The last type of null function, Coley's function. So what does a Coley's function will do? So Coley's function will take n number of arguments. It's different from is null and null if. Coley's function will take n number of arguments. So it will return the first not null value. It will return the first not null value. So that is how we'll be using the Coley's function. Example. So how many arguments it is taking? The Coley's function can take n number of expressions. There is no restriction here. It will take n number of expressions, or what we'll call it as a arguments also. Expressions or arguments. You'll see an example. Select the Coley's. So Coley's function will take a number of arguments. I'm just passing the values. So Coley's function. Yeah, I'm just taking the values, different values. I'm just taking 1, null. So what this Coley's function will do, it will return the first not null value. What will be the output of this particular query? 1, because which is in this query, 1 is a not null value. If I execute this, it is returning the value as 1. Say suppose, let us see with another example for better understanding. Coley's function. Say suppose I'm just taking null value, null, and I'm just passing 3 nulls. After 3 nulls, I'm passing a value 20. If I run this query, it is going to execute and we are getting the output as 20. What this Coley's function will do? It will return the first not null value. In this query, the first not null value is 20. Let me run the query. You're able to see the output as 20. So this is how we have SQL null functions. What are the 3 different types of null functions in SQL? Is null, null if, and Coley's. What is the difference between these 3? So the first is null function will take 2 arguments. We are checking if the first argument is not null, it will return the first argument. Otherwise, it will return the second argument. Then null if function will also take the 2 arguments. If both the expressions or arguments are same, it will return a null value. Otherwise, it will return the first argument. The last null function, that is Coley's function. Coley's function will take n number of arguments and it will return the first not null value. So this is about the today's topic. If you are new to my channel, like, share, subscribe.